So yeah, great question. I'm glad you brought that up. We actually, okay, hold on.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh,
I
no,
gotta
you're
stop
wrong.
looking at you because I'm looking.
You
Uh,
you started smiling as well. I started
Elliot, I'm okay. This honestly, it's not that big of a question. Maybe it's good that we don't. No, okay, I got this.
Hello and welcome back to Collegiate Pickleball Tailgate, summer series with a CEO. I'm Elliot Rothstein with theTUNDRA, and today I also have the pleasure of introducing a co-host, Averee Beck, one of the top collegiate women's players. Averee, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. So I've been playing collegiate pickleball for a year now, and I'm so excited to go into season 2.
Awesome. So great to have you, Avery, and also so great to have you, Noah, our CEO guest today. He is the founder and CEO of the NCPA, the National Collegiate Pickleball Association. Noah, thank you so much for joining us, and how are you doing today?
Elliot, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, sweet. And obviously, I want to know the details about the NCPA, all the background business stuff. But first, why don't you tell us a little bit, about your athletic career and how you got into pickleball?
Yeah, so same story as most people. Started when COVID hit, nothing to do. Let's play some pickleball. I graduated last year from Point Loma Nazarene University. I graduated with a finance degree. Yeah, so started the club, the pickleball club at Point Loma, while I was playing college soccer as well. And then ran local tournaments in Southern California, STSU, USD, UCSD, and then it kind of snowballed from there. We had Arizona colleges catching wind, wanting to compete, and that's when the idea sparked. This was January of last year. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I saw this opportunity and kind of obviously surveyed the industry, what's going on with college pickleball, and was like, you know what, let's like this is something that we can do. So yeah, that's how the whole journey began.
Sweet. And where do you see the journey sort of going? Where do you want to take the NCPA? Is the goal just to like run tournaments as it's sort of being held now, or to expand it into more of a varsity week to week match and then have like a playoffs type format that you see with like all the other college sports?
Good question. So we are running ourselves as an NCAA sport, eligibility requirements, all of that. Right now, it is a club sport. Pickleball in college is not big enough to be an athletic sport recognized by universities, but that's kind of our goal with this whole thing is to take it to that next level, have teams funded by their universities. So right now, what we do, we run a full collegiate tour. So we're in 5 different states right now. And our 2024 to 2025 collegiate tour starts in September of this year. So we have regional championship qualifiers for nationals next year, and we're going to be giving out 64 bids. So that's kind of who we are. That's what we're doing.
And if you guys already have so much participation from players in schools and different colleges, I think the last tournament had over like 200 colleges represented. What more has to happen to have it reach that sort of like NCAA level where it is getting funded by colleges? What more has to be done to reach it?
Good question. Yeah, for the March Nationals, we had, wish it was over 200 colleges. This was over 200 players, almost 40 colleges. We are connected with over 200 that we have contacts with that are competing with us. But to take it to the next level right now, um, I mean, we just kind of have to wait and let the growth kind of go. It starts with there's a lot of new clubs at these universities popping up. So pretty much what we're doing is creating this environment to where all of the colleges with a club, they come compete with us, and then everyone that pops up are continually, it's continual growth, and eventually, like it's steadily growing, but eventually it's gonna hit kind of a period where there's just going to be 5 to 10x growth just with clubs starting, rapidly. And so we're kind of prepping for that. Once that happens, I think I see that in about 2 years where that really takes off. It's already taken off now, but just getting to that next level, it'll be about 2 years for that to happen.
What will the qualifiers look like, having colleges qualify to play for nationals?
Yeah, good question. So we're giving out 64 bids and we're in 5 states. So we give out 12 bids per state with 4 wildcards. So teams will have 20 to 30 teams at each of these regionals. And the top 12 teams at each of these regionals will qualify for a bid. And then the 13th and 14th teams that just didn't quite squeak by. With the 5 regionals, there's going to be a pool of 10 of those colleges that fit that description. Those are when the 4 wildcards come into play. And those are essentially given out randomly.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah, we're stoked for it. Yeah.
How have you managed to flesh out such a developed company in only a year and a half since you've graduated, and only 2 years since sort of really starting your own pickleball trailblazing sort of efforts?
Yeah, it's been a lot of hours, a lot of time, a lot of sleepless nights, just my brain constantly going, what can we do to, keep this growth? Big thing was I was kind of running solo up until this was September of last year. Recruited 6 people, 6 members of our team, now 7 total, including myself. So that's been a huge method of growth for us. It's not one body, we've got 7 minds on this thing. So that insane growth, obviously from there, but a big reason there's so much going on behind the scenes. It's been a difficult journey. Nothing big comes easy. And so yeah, it's just been a difficult journey, but for me, we are faith-based. We're a Christian organization, and a lot of things going on behind the scenes. There's so many things that were just completely out of our control that God was placing certain people in our lives. He was opening doors while others closed, and we're pretty much on the exact path that we need to be on. It's His perfect plan. So I attribute a lot of our success. Yes, I worked hard. Yes, we've got a good team, but I attribute all pretty much of our success to Christ. So
Um, I would say that I could agree with the success coming from God, and you made it very apparent that God was the focus of the organization in San Diego, and that was truly inspiring to me as a Christian, but not only to me as a Christian, but everyone, all denominations. It was talked about amongst everyone how empowering it was that we had prayer every single morning and that you were making God the center of the whole tournament.
yeah, yeah, that was our big thing too, because we don't want to be too forward about it, right? We want this is for everyone. This is a family. But we do. I mean, at the end of the day, think of it as, you know, in everything you do, where you get to in life, there were people in your life that got you there. And for me, that big individual is Christ. So who am I to not make him at the forefront of everything and just kind of say, oh, I've made it. We've hit this trend, this kind of peak. That's great. So yeah, with kind of what we've done, he's at the center of everything behind the scenes. He's going to be at the center of everything in front of the scene. So just quick 30-second to minute prayers. Even if people they don't swing that way, they don't have a faith, they don't believe in Jesus. There were so many people there that were touched just by that prayer, and that's the biggest thing. We want to cultivate an environment where people are coming in a certain way and they're leaving changed, they're leaving affected by the event. That's the biggest thing. We love pickleball, it's great, it's a great sport, but the biggest thing is, can we, because this is the future, this generation, it's the future of, you know the the future generation, it's the future of college pickleball. So arguably these are the most important moments that we're kind of creating, so it's very important that we run it a certain way, just to make those lasting impressions on these players. Yeah.
And you can totally see with the NCPA how the principles of your faith shine through. It says on your website that 10% of proceeds go to combat sex trafficking victim. Which do you want to talk a little bit about that? I think that's super valuable.
Absolutely, yeah. So our biggest thing, like I said, we want to instill change. A lot of people have said your registration fees are too cheap. There's so much money in college pickleball. This is great. That's not why we're doing it. Yes, the potential's there, awesome. But the way I measure success is not monetarily, it's by the amount of people's lives that we affect directly or indirectly. But how many lives are we touching through that? So not only do we have the faith aspect, do we have the prayers, but we also we're partnered with A21, so they combat human sex trafficking. They work to prevent it, to spread awareness. But beautiful thing they do as well is they send out missions to where they rescue victims currently enslaved in sex trafficking, and they bring them back and rehabilitate them. And that such a noble cause. Like a lot of people can just say behind the scenes and give like, hey, you need to know about this problem, but not do anything about it. What I really love about A21 is they actually actively go out and they're rescuing lives and they're saving people. So what better cause to get behind than that?
As far as where you want to take the NCPA in the future, obviously you want to legitimize it as a college sport. Does that mean partnering with the NCAA? I know you actually had some beef with the NCAA over some naming, some sort of lawsuit over the name of the NCPA. And obviously you were sort of on the other side of them in that. But do you think that sort of actually could have done anything to put the NCPA on the NCAA's radar as something that could potentially merge and work together in the future?
Yeah, great question. So it actually did. There's a saying, all press is good press. I think that's the saying. But it turned out, when we got the cease and desist from them, it was very much, oh my gosh, this is it. This was back in October. But it turned out we had Sportico, USA Today, the San Diego Union Tribune. We just had a ton of articles being reposted about us. People on Instagram were saying, "Long live the NCPA," and it was just it turned out to be a good thing for publicity, right? So that whole thing was a trademark dispute. So we're the NCPA, they're the NCAA. They pretty much were saying, "Hey, your name is too close. You are intentionally trying to confuse people in order to get sponsors and all of this stuff." A bit of a far-fetched argument in my unprofessional opinion, but that was kind of that was what they were saying. So long story short with that, we're still in talks. The door has opened to us potentially working together. They aren't, I mean, with a big organization like that in any industry, they want to take control of everything. So obviously, ideally, we're out of the picture. Um, so yeah, we're in talks with them because we're not going anywhere. I think they know that. So again, this conversation won't happen for another, I think, 2 to 3 years to where they actually start to get involved. But
Got you. And even before the NCAA would get involved, if it's just the NCPA alone right now for a couple of years, can we expect any sort of weekly match, varsity style intercollegiate play, or will it probably just stick regional and national tournaments for now?
good question. So we've actually been talking to Purdue, a couple schools in Florida and Texas. We're gonna be so we have our main collegiate tour. We've got regionals. That's the main, obviously, that's the main events. But we're also going to be starting next year sanctioning local kind of exhibition matches between 2 to 5 universities in a given region. So with the way that works, the universities themselves run it, we sanction it, we help make it happen. Um, and so that's something that they can do in the downtime because there's obviously a lot of time outside of the events that happen in their particular region. So these are kind of a filler for them to still compete, have fun, have these exhibition matches that we sanction, and then also kind of prepare for the collegiate tour that we offer in the fall.
Oh, yeah, and Avery, as one of the highest level women's players who's competed in the tournaments Noah has run, what sort of a player's perspective on it? What do you think?
Yeah, his tournament was so much fun. I'm so grateful to be able to be one of the top players, and I owe that to God to be able to do what I love. it's amazing for players like me who pickleball is their whole world. I'm the pickleball director here in St. George. I coach pickleball and I play pickleball all the time. So it's so much fun to get out and go play, but I also think it's so fun for all levels, people who are transferring from tennis or transferring from other sports, or just people who college players who want to get out. It's amazing for all different levels, and I think that's the beauty of it.
And as a player, is there any element to the college scene that you still think pickleball needs to work on, or that should deserve like extra attention?
Yeah, as you've seen, the level has grown a lot since when it first started, and I think that the level will only grow to get more and more competitive. You're already seeing that, and so I think what the future holds, especially with the qualifiers that Noah was talking about, I think naturally, yeah, it's just going to continue to get more and more competitive.
Awesome. You guys both have pretty inspirational young stories. Noah, if you just wanted to maybe give some words of advice or like encouragement for other like really young people, like yourself who maybe are just entering sort of the workforce, but they have an opportunity that maybe they want to just go for the way you did.
Mm. In yeah, in whatever industry you're wanting to get into, kind of whatever dream you have or idea, you I'd say there's so much adversity in everything. No matter what you do, there's going to be competitors, there's going to be people that do not have your best interests at heart. They want to take what you built, they want to keep you from achieving your full potential. And a big thing for me, what I've experienced in these past 2 years is a lot of people will come to you. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. The Bible says that they come to you very um, pretty much saying, "Hey, so cool what you're doing. This is awesome." And then slowly they try to, manipulate. And there's unfortunately so many people like that in the business world. So whatever you're trying to do, stay focused, be careful. Just it's so important who you work with, who you surround yourself with, because that will determine your future and where you're gonna go. So yeah, just be very careful who you work with, who you're hanging around with, because that will legitimately determine your success.
Dang, thank you. That was really insightful. And then lastly, I do want to ask, how many NCPA tournaments can we expect for fall 2024, and when are they starting?
Absolutely. So we are running 5 regional championships in fall of this year of 2024. We're going to be in Utah. This is September through November. Utah is our headliner event. And then we've got Ohio, then Florida, California, and Texas. So going to be having around 20 colleges for each of those, around 200 players. And again, those are all qualifiers for nationals in March of next year. So yeah, that's what you guys can expect. And then we are again growth mindset. If you're not growing, you're dying. So we're continually prepping for growth. We're going to be having a few more regionals, around 2 to 3 more for the following year. There's also talks with just other tours aligning in some way, potentially. So we might see something like that in the future.
Awesome, sweet. Sounds like you got a really busy agenda. If we want to find out more information, where can we check?
Yeah, so follow our socials, Instagram at NCPA Pickleball. That's all of our updates, especially close up to the events. Everything's posted on there. But big thing just to know a little bit more about the team, about what we're building, sponsorship opportunities, colleges with us. It's all on our website, ncpaofficial.com. Everything is pretty much on that website. So.
Well, yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Noah. I'm excited to see where the NCPA and the collegiate pickleball scene goes. And thanks so much for joining us, Averee, as our co-host pickleball expert player.
Yeah, thanks
Absolutely.
again. I'm looking forward to seeing where the NCPA goes from here.